Good morning, YouTube fans. It is Saturday morning, August 29th, 7:45 a.m. Everyone else is still in bed, and I thought I'd shoot a quick response to some questions before our busy weekend commences. Regarding Adam Davies' trip to the West Coast in June of 2014, Adam and I were Skyping before he came over to the West Coast. And I love to have fun. I have a sense of humor. And I said, Adam, let me tell you how the trip's going to go. And I could see his face like, okay, tell me. I said, well, you're going to go to Derek Randall's Olympic project and you're going to meet a whole lot of nice people. There's going to be good food, good drink, beautiful scenery, and a ton of you are going to go up the mountainside, and you're not going to experience anything Bigfoot related because you don't go out with a ton of people. And the old school paparazzi money shot approach, whacking on trees, blasting out calls, bobo screams, isn't the way you go about doing it. But you're going to have a good time. You're going to meet good people, good stories, good food, good drink, beautiful scenery. You're going to have a good time, but nothing Bigfoot related. Then you're going to come to SOHA, and you're going to get your freaking mind blown. And then you're going to go down to Northern California with Bart Catino and Justin Smeja, and you're going to meet good people, good food, good drink, beautiful scenery, but nothing significant is going to happen Bigfoot related at all. But you'll be talking about how you got your mind blown at SOHA. So when Adam returned home to England from his West Coast tour, he said, Matt, you called it 100% spot on. That's exactly what happened. Now, next question. Did you throw Adam Davies under the bus by releasing the information about the portal? Well, I guess that depends on who you ask. If you ask Adam, he'll probably tell you, yeah, I threw him under the bus. He unfriended me on Facebook. He dropped out of my Team Squatching USA Facebook group when I released the information at our Habituation Research Conference in Bremerton, Washington in April of this year, 2015. So I'm sure he probably felt like I threw him under the bus, but that wasn't my intent. It wasn't like, I'm going to release this information and throw Adam Davies under the bus. That wasn't why I did what I did. And there are two sides to every coin. Take that coin and flip it over. There's another side to the coin. And the other side of the coin is I gave Adam Davies 10 months to speak up about what happened in SOHA. That other side of the coin is I own all the research data in SOHA. I own all the audio recordings, video recordings. I own hair samples, saliva samples, fingerprints, anything and everything related to research in SOHA, I own. So the other side of the coin is I graciously gave Adam Davies 10 months to speak up. And, that other side of the coin is I felt like his silence was throwing me under the bus. Clearly, Adam Davies came out with the intent to hopefully collect hair samples, which he did, which turned out to be Atlas's hair. It was small black hair, and, we were talking at base camp. Well, that could have been the black bear that came through, which I might add, in the 8 years I've been up there, that's the first time a black bear ever came through. Or it could have been Atlas's hairs. Well, let's have Todd Distill check it out. Well, they were canine hairs. They were Atlas's hairs. But, that was his focus of coming to the West Coast, was to collect DNA samples. On the other hand, my research in SOHA is a tad bit broader than that. My research in SOHA is about developing trust and friendship with the Squatch family. And the more the trust and the friendship grows over time, the more they reveal themselves to me. Okay? So, Adam and John's first night there in camp, we had a squatch on the perimeter at 10 or 11 that, oh, and Adam goes, "Did you hear that? Whoa, I can't believe this shit." And, that's on the audio recordings and my SoundCloud files. All you have to do is go look it up and listen to it. So, right out of the gates, we were having significant squatch activity for the first 2 nights in SOHA. Very significant all around the perimeter. And it was unlike anything Adam and John experienced at the Olympic project. So that was blowing their minds. Like, Dr. J's delivering. He really does have them come up to the perimeter of his base camp every night like he's been telling everybody, but nobody believes him. But wow, it's real. So that was, that's overwhelming. You do the Olympic project, good people, good food, good drink, good scenery, but not a whole lot going on Bigfoot wise. And then you come to SOHA and you got them on the freaking perimeter every night and doing other kind of stuff that's just a tad bit overwhelming for newbies. Keep in mind, I'd been up there 8 years developing that relationship and friendship. So that wasn't blowing my mind, but it certainly was theirs. Okay, so then on top of that significant difference that they did not experience at the Olympic project or with Bart, Catino, and Justin Smeja in Northern California. Okay, so significant squatch activity, significant. Emphasis on significant squatch activity. Then the third night and the fourth night, you throw in a portal. Something I didn't even know was there. And on top of that, you throw in 2 guardians of the portal, 3 foot tall, 3.5 feet tall, like little Ewoks without clothes on with glowing red eyes. You're surrounded by squatches on the perimeter. Now you got a portal. Now you got 2 guardians. Whose mind wouldn't be freaking blown away? Matter of fact, when we were driving back from Southern Oregon to Seattle, which was an 8-hour drive, before Adam and John nodded off to sleep, Adam said, "I can't believe I shushed a squatch so I could do battle with the guardians of the interdimensional portal." That's how crazy it was. And then he laughed and he said, "Johnson, from now on, if you tell me that you saw a pink unicorn in SOHA, I will believe you." Okay, so, that is what Adam has had to deal with over the last year now, because it's August, so actually 14 months. It's mind-blowing. And to be fair to Adam, when you're used to seeing the world in a certain way, which I was the same way as him, same way as some of you guys that still have difficulty accepting this, and then you start experiencing stuff like that, it does blow your mind. It does. Your whole cognitive schema of the way you believe the world is supposed to be comes crashing down. And so you're desperately trying to grab onto something so you don't drown by this overwhelming information. Give me something that I can grab and float on to keep my head above the water. It can be overwhelming. So to be fair to Adam, I've gone through that, and I know others who have. People are asking me, well, why doesn't he speak up? I don't know. I've already said, maybe because he works for the British government, maybe because he has a book deal that's keeping him from speaking up. I don't know. It's Adam's choice. It's not anything that you, me, or anybody else can make him do. But the reason why I disclosed the information at the research conference was because I'm about the research. I'm about the truth. I'm about science. And a true man of science does not repress the truth. A true man of science will report the truth regardless of what others are going to say or think. It's what they say and think is irrelevant. What matters is sharing the truth. So let's say I sat on this for 10 years and then I tell you. Well, that's 10 years delay in the field moving forward with the proper understanding regarding the data. I'm not going to wait until 10 years from now to release the data. People need to know it now who are doing research now. They need to be aware of why tracks disappear in the middle of nowhere. They need to understand why you can't see anything, but you hear footsteps or the brush is moving or trees are being pushed over. Are they cloaking? They need to understand that if they're out there in the field and they're getting zapped or somebody's engaging in mind speak with them, they're not going crazy. It's the Squatches. It's what they do. And so I'm about promoting the truth. I'm about promoting the data. I'm about keeping the field current and up to speed with the growing knowledge and progress in the field. Now, whether or not some of you are willing to keep up with the data, I don't have any control over that. I just read a couple screenshots from a PM in another Bigfoot group by someone who pretty much is committed to not believing the truth. By God, they were in that group to ridicule the lunacy in the field, and they're certainly not going to embrace the lunacy now. And it's like, really? So how open-minded is that? How scientific is that? And just to keep you all up to speed, Google, do the research, quantum physics, scientists starting to try to open up wormholes and open up portals. It's real science, people. It's not, fantasy anymore. Star Trek's becoming a reality, so to speak. You remember those communicators that were pretty cool? Well, we're all talking on them today, aren't we? So that whole portal, wormhole thing, quantum physics, it's starting to happen. And you need to keep up with the science. You need to keep up with the data. So between you and me, I love Adam Davies. He's a funny guy. He's got a good heart. He's really focused on DNA collection. I think there's a whole lot more to the phenomena than just DNA collection. But that's his focus, that's his specialty, and that's what he was out here to do. So when he ran into a portal and guardians and significant Bigfoot activity, unlike the Olympic project, unlike what he got in Northern California with Bart, his mind got blown. Boof, blown. So apparently he's needed some time to deal with that. And just a public service reminder, my NDA contract does not stop him or anybody else who's ever come to SOHA with me from sharing what happened on SOHA. Matter of fact, that's why I bring people to SOHA. I've brought over 25 people over the last 9 years to SOHA, and I expect them to speak up and share with others what they've seen, what they've heard. That validates my work to have all those people vetting and verifying my research. So I expect them to speak up. The NDA does not, prevent people from speaking up. The only thing the NDA does is tell people that I own the research data, that you are not to disclose the location of SOHA, and that you're never to come back to SOHA unless you're my invited guest. In other words, you don't get to come back by yourself. That's it. That's it. He's never been told he can't talk about what happens in SOHA. So if and when he chooses to, he'll do it. And no, I didn't throw Adam Davies under the bus. I own the research. It's my duty to get the information out. I gave him 10 months to get it out. Did he throw me under the bus with his silence? Well, it felt like it, but in reality, no. He was silent for whatever reason he can use to justify, and I'm not disputing that. He chose to be silent for whatever reason he chose to, and I get it. So, in reality, Adam and I may have felt like we both threw each other under the bus, but in reality, our focus on the research was in different directions. So I don't think really that Adam threw me under the bus, and I don't think I threw him under the bus. I just think we had a different perspective, a different focus with our research. And just a public service reminder, I grew up with a father who was an Oregon State trooper or Oregon State policeman, and he made it pretty clear that if I ever used drugs, he was going to kill me and throw my rotting corpse in jail. I never have used an illegal drug in my life, and I have a policy for anyone and everyone that comes to SOHA that there will be no drinking, no drugging, because I don't want my witnesses to be impaired, and I don't want them to be accused of being impaired. In other words, when the portal and guardian activity thing happened, nobody was impaired. Nobody uses in SOHA. And last but not least, before I sign off, just a public service reminder. Since June of last year, 7 people have seen the portal. Not just Adam, not just John, not just me and Grady, but 3 more people in addition to that. 7 people have seen the portal. 6 have chosen to speak out about it. Adam's the only one who hasn't. And if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. But there's 7 people who have seen it. So I hope this helps to clarify the additional questions. And once again, if you have more questions, feel free to ask me and I'll answer them and post them. And we'll just kind of keep this communication going to make sure that you learn everything you would like to learn about the SOHA Squatches and the portal. Which reminds me, one last thing. Although we found the portal, John and Adam accidentally found it last June of 2014, my primary focus of my research in SOHA are the Squatches. I'm not all of a sudden shifting from my habituation research with the Squatch family over to portal research. The portal research is secondary. And yes, I have figured out how to reopen it. It took me a whole year to figure it out, but I got it figured out. And I know how to do it now. But that's not going to be the primary focus of my research in SOHA. The Squatch family and developing trust is my primary focus. Getting them to feel comfortable enough to walk into camp while we're awake and to be able to sit down and start getting to know each other. That's the primary focus of my research in SOHA. So keep the questions flowing, and I'll try my best to keep answering them. I need to move on. Today is Saturday. It's our fantasy football draft day, and we've got 20 teams, and we're going to have a fun time this football season. Go Seahawks.